What did you do?
I did everything.
Like what?
I had sex with other girls. I did everything.
Love in our Z generation is changing by the impact of music negatively and positively. Our argument is walking the line of the negative and positive impact that music has on our idea of love in the Z generation. We, as a part of the Z generation, were wondering if music has more of a negative or positive impact. So we decided to dig into music specifically. Most of the musicians in our generation use their position in the music industry to talk about their relationships and views on love. For instance, Drake has a ton of records such as Doing It Wrong and Marvin's Room. He even goes as far as making his album's covers having a moody or emotional effect. His album cover with both of the songs previously mentioned on the album shows himself sitting alone, drinking, and looking down with what seems a very depressing facial expression. In Drake's lyrics for Doing It Wrong, he speaks about his past views on his relationship, saying, "'Cause you'll say you love me, and I'll end up lying and say I love you too." When Drake says this, he's underliningly talking about how he doesn't really love her, but that since she's telling him that she loves him, that he's going to lie to her and lead her on. Yet his song is called Doing It Wrong. This negatively and positively impacts our view on love because Drake is explaining that it is not okay to say and or do what he's doing, but that he is still doing it.
'Cause you'll say you love me, and I'll end up lying and say I love you too. But I need someone different, you know.
Another one of Drake's lyrics from the song Doing It Wrong is what really made my group and I want to use this argument and or topic in the first place. He states, "We live in a generation of not being in love, not being together, but we sure make it feel like we're together because we're scared to see each other with somebody else." When Drake says this, he's talking directly about our generation's idea of love and his views on why we as a generation think or feel this way about love and or relationships. This negatively impacts relationships and or our generation's idea of love because he's saying that we live in a generation where love isn't really love and we're just being with each other because we're lonely or it's convenient. But it's also positively impacting our generation's idea of love because he's standing up and acknowledging that we as a generation don't really know what love is, and it takes a lot of courage to admit when you're wrong or when you express your emotions to the world.
We all know I need someone different. We live in a generation of not being in love and not being together, but we sure make it feel like we're together, 'cause we're scared to see each other with somebody else. So cry.
During our research, my group and I came across this TED Talk that Justin Baldoni did about men in our generation. He goes into detail talking about how men in our generation feel like you're not masculine if you talk about your feelings or express any emotions. In Justin's TED Talk, he states that he feels that men are more masculine if they do express their emotions and talk about their feelings. Now, my group and I had a hard time deciding on if Justin's TED Talk was helping the negative or positive impact on our generation's idea of love. We also were trying to figure out how music worked into this TED Talk, and we finally figured it out.
For the most part, I've just been kind of putting on a show. But I'm tired of performing. And I can tell you right now that it is exhausting trying to be man enough for everyone all the time. Now, right? My brother heard that. Now, for as long as I can remember, I've been told the kind of man that I should grow up to be. As a boy, all I wanted was to be accepted and liked by the other boys. But that acceptance meant I had to acquire this almost disgusted view of the feminine. And since we were told that feminine is the opposite of masculine, I either had to reject embodying any of these qualities or face rejection myself. This is the script that we've been given. Right? Girls are weak and boys are strong. This is what's being subconsciously communicated to hundreds of millions of young boys and girls all over the world, just like it was with me. Well, I came here today to say, as a man, that this is wrong, this is toxic, and it has to end. Now, I'm not here to give a history lesson. We likely all know how we got here, okay? But I'm just a guy that woke up after 30 years and realized that I was living in a state of conflict. Conflict with who I feel I am in my core, and conflict with who the world tells me as a man I should be. But I don't have a desire to fit into the current broken definition of masculinity, because I don't just want to be a good man. I want to be a good human. And I believe the only way that can happen is if men learn to not only embrace the qualities that we were told are feminine in ourselves, but to be willing to stand up, to champion and learn from the women who embody them.
Like Drake and a lot of other male and female musicians in our generation use their music to express their emotions and explain their feelings about love, my group and I were still worried about which side this TED Talk was on for the negative and positive impacts on our generation's idea of love. We threw a lot of opinions and paths that we could go off from, and we decided with research that this TED Talk could go both ways. Thinking about the negative impact, men in our generation aren't really talking about their feelings directly to that person, but then looking at the positive impact on our generation, we are still going against the negative views on them expressing their emotions and feelings. They're just doing it in their own way. For our research, my group and I decided to do 2 interviews, one with a female freshman of the University of Kentucky and one with a male freshman from the University of Kentucky. The first interviewee is Anna Mort, and we asked her 5 questions about her relationship. The first question was, has music ever made you feel justified to cheat on your significant other? She said, justified isn't the right word. Sometimes I listen to rap music when I'm mad at my boyfriend, and it makes me feel superior and causes me to seek attention from other men, which causes the fight to get worse. The second question we asked her was, have you ever cheated on someone or been cheated on? She answered, yes, I have been cheated on. It was truly one of the worst feelings I have ever experienced. Question 3. Has music influenced you to handle a breakup with a significant other in a negative way? Anna responded with, my past breakup, I listened to music such as rap that made me feel angry and more inclined to make impulsive decisions. Question 4. What ways has music negatively influenced you? Anna responded with, it has a lot of effect on my emotions and mood. The last and final question was, has music ever made you feel objectified or discriminated against? Anna responded with, yes, rap music in particular. Women are often objectified and degraded in rap and R&B songs, which makes me feel bad about myself. The second person we interviewed from the University of Kentucky was freshman Kyle Ridge. We asked him the same 5 questions, and here are his answers. For question 1, he said, not for me personally because I am in love with my girlfriend, but I know that it has given my friends courage, so to speak, to cheat on their girlfriends, and which in the end normally leads to them breaking up. For the second question, he responded with, yes, I have been cheated on. I really care for her and she betrayed my trust. We haven't spoken since. For the third question, he responded with, yes, specifically rap makes me sometimes feel like I need to just have a careless attitude when handling a breakup, almost like I shouldn't show any emotion about it. Kyle's response to the fourth question was, I would say it has led me to do some things that I shouldn't have. Music is usually played in a party setting, which will sometimes influence me to make bad decisions. His response to the final question was, as a man, no. I feel like you rarely hear a song degrading a man, but I feel like women are definitely made out to be objects instead of people in most rap songs. On the other hand, country can do this too, but usually they carry a positive image of women and tend to hang on the negative view of men. Notice that we interviewed 2 people of the opposite sex and their answers are fairly similar. Both parties acknowledge that music has the power to alter the way we make decisions when it comes to conflicts with their significant others. They also both mentioned that music has the power to influence people to make in-the-moment decisions when it comes to ending a committed relationship. We found it particularly interesting that both interviewees said that they felt as though rap music in particular usually objectifies and degrades women, making them sound like sexualized objects rather than people. In Kyle's interview, he touched on how country music tends to flip the script by glorifying women and pinpoints the flaws of men in relationships. The female participant discussed how when she listens to rap music during a fight with her significant other, it causes her to feel superior and look for attention from other men instead of working on the issues within her relationship. The male participant, however, stated that the music never makes him feel justified to cheat on his girlfriend, but often that he sees his friends with their other significant others do it. It is evident through these two interviews that music has strong effects on the way people maintain and handle conflicts in their relationships. In conclusion, my group and I have decided that music does have a positive and negative impact on our generation's idea of love. Our argument is definitely something that a lot of people have different opinions on, and I'm sure there always will be, but this is how my group and I feel about the argument based off of our research and our own opinions morphed together into one. My group and I have found a possible solution for our public issue, and that is that we as a generation stop looking and relying on other influences from music or impacts on how we view love in our generation. We need to experience love on our own and find our own idea of love through experiences and not impacts or influences from music.